Hi, this is Edward, sonsofgod.com. It's Thursday, 15th or 16th of July, I lose track. But we've had something on the tip of our tongue for about a week now, and it's been something that we've been tracking on for about 2 years. And the clarity of it came today. I saw not only the application of the clarity concerning some things Ann and I are dealing with, but as well what I see resting upon those that God is bringing out of Babylon. And we know Babylon is spiritual Babylon, Christianity, whatnot. And that concerns a word that I brought about 2 years ago, I believe, called the spirit of alienation. And that word, when that word came, the clarity of it was still not there. I was tracking on it, I saw it, I understood what the spirit was, but I wasn't exactly sure the whole dynamics of it until today. And I want to address something here, because God is moving on. Men are given the opportunity to choose, to go on with God or to stay within the scope of where they are. And that's why we see the rise of so many churches, so many denominations, because people build walls around a revelation from God. They create a kingdom around an appearing of the Lord that they had. And as long as they're able to maintain control, that's where it stays. When God begins to move forward and move into deeper things, if they don't see it, if they're not prepared to lay down their life on that level and pay that cost, then they draw back. And thus you have the creation of another church, another doctrine, another denomination. We have seen that. And I've said before in my words that one of the greatest testimonies of the duplicity of the United States is the rise of so many churches. You know, someone could say, oh, well, you know, the United States is the woman referenced in the book Revelations, and you know, the United States has been a tremendous source that God has used to spread the word, spread the gospel. And I'm not saying that that isn't the case, but I would say this, that the rise of so many churches and denominations are the very witness that God's presence has moved on, and you see the shell of so many Ichabods that remain, where the glory of God departed, which is the meaning of Ichabod. And I see that in Christianity. People are walking around moving in certain gifts and anointings, which they have, which were committed to them, and God didn't take those gifts and anointings back, and they continue to move and do their thing, move in their gifts or powers or anointings or healing, whatever it is that they're doing. But the truth of the matter is that the glory of God departed, and they became as Ichabod. And you find the rise of what I call the spirit of alienation. And what I've seen, and I've seen it with Ann and myself, as the enemy has sought every door, every access to come against us. And I'm using us as an example, but it pertains to you, where you're positioned and how you're walking. So it might sound personal, but it's really not that personal. Because as God continues to move you out of the old, and in this case, you walk on, the church that you are part of is left behind, the group, the organization, or whatnot, they really become, to a large degree, an Ichabod, where God has moved on. And so what I have found is that there is an alienation that they begin to experience, and they don't even understand it, they don't even know it, they may not even perceive it, but because the Lord's glory has departed to a great degree, and that they're not at the pinnacle of where God is moving and what He is speaking, God has moved on, that there is a separation that has come in the spirit realm. There is an alienation, there is a cutoff from the presence of the Lord. And I've seen that. We have picked up the signs on it many times. You'll pick the sign up in the right above your foot in the ankle, is a cut-off sign, something coming to cut off your walk. Today, where this finally came to clarity, was a sign here in my right hand, which is my spiritual side, happened to come right across here, the back of the hand, which oftentimes is heady witchcraft, but in this case it was something a little bit different. But nonetheless, the sign represents that which comes to block the flow, block the ability for your spirit to receive the flow. In essence, that which comes to cut you off and to alienate you from the presence of the Lord. And so what I'm doing here today is once we finally discerned exactly what this was, because it's been hitting for the last week, and I haven't really been able to put my finger down on exactly what this was, but I knew the emotions, I knew the feelings of it, and I knew that there would be random evenings, days, where I just felt cut off from the presence of the Lord, and I didn't understand it. Almost just alienated, just kind of out there, whatever, and not really being able to put my finger on exactly the operation of the Spirit and how it was coming in. But we saw very clearly how it was coming in, because it still, spirits primarily have access through bonds, contacts, associations that you may still have on some level, some minute thread through which the Spirit can gain access. And in this case, what the enemy is looking to do is to take the judgment that are upon these organizations, upon these individuals, these groups that you may have walked with, that have chosen not to walk on with God, or they're building their own kingdom, or they're doing whatever, and to take that judgment and to transfer it on you, to take that alienation, that separation from the presence of the Lord that is on them, and transfer it onto you, until all of a sudden you feel alienated from the presence of the Lord. You feel cut off from His presence. You don't know what it was you did. It's just that all of a sudden you can almost feel it despairing.